Mr. Lowe.
What are you doing, Mr. Lowe?
Mr. Lowe!
Oh, hello, I'm Mr. Lowe's and I'm reading this year's NAIDOC magazine. You probably heard about it on the radio or seen it on the television. You may have even heard the song by Yothu Yindi. Treaty, yeah, treaty now. Did you know that I'm Aboriginal? This is my mum.
Mrs. Lowe.
And our family is from the Wiradjuri Nation. So this year's NAIDOC theme is Voice Treaty Truth. But what does that mean? Maybe we could start by asking some of my relatives who live in Dubbo. Let's go. Now that we've arrived in Dubbo, my nan and auntie are taking us to a place where our Aboriginal ancestors used to carve their weapons and tools. The name of the place they're taking us to is Terramungar. Nan's feet start to get a bit sore and so she needs to sit down to have a rest. She's not supposed to be eating oranges, but she loves them too much and can't resist them.
Oh dear.
Taking all the good stuff.
Yeah, taking all the good stuff off me. Yeah.
Once we arrived, we could see very clearly the grooves that our Aboriginal ancestors have left from carving their weapons and tools. And since we were on Wiradjuri land, my mum and auntie decided that this is the perfect place to share their views on NAIDOC week, but not before giving acknowledgement to country.
Hello, my name's Leanne and I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of this land, the Wiradjuri people. I would like to pay my respects to elders past and present and to all Aboriginal people here today.
Hello, I'm Anne. Kari Yambuyala, Dulabuyala, Winangagigilada, Nungilada. That means don't tell lies and speak the truth. Today I'd like to welcome you all here on the Wiradjuri land.
This is my nan Pat, and this is my auntie Anne. And they're going to share their views on this year's NAIDOC theme, Voice Treaty Truth. These are my cousins, Alinta and Bryce. Why do you think it's important that Aboriginal people have a voice?
We weren't allowed to speak our own language in the streets or in schools.
What would happen if you spoke your language?
We get a flogging.
So we are lucky now that we have a voice in speaking the language at school. I teach Wiradjuri language. We are very proud to have that knowledge in our school. Our kids speak it in the playground, in the classroom. We do greetings and everything else.
Do you think that we should have a treaty?
Yes, because it's Aboriginal land, everyone should know that.
What about you, Nan? Do you think we should have a treaty?
Sure do. I reckon we should have had a treaty a long time ago.
Why?
Because when Captain Cook come out, he destroyed a lot of Aboriginal people, killed a lot, and it's about time we do have a treaty, so we can't let the whites put it over us again.
So, Mum, do you think that you would like your grandkids to be brought up the way that you were, by not being allowed in pools or not being educated at schools?
No.
Why do you think it's important to speak the truth about our history?
Could you tell us about what it was like for you growing up and what it was like for you going to school, Mum?
Oh, it was terrible.
How did they treat you?
Like a bit of dirt.
In what way?
Wouldn't teach me anything in school.
Why? Why wouldn't they teach anything at school?
They told me that I should know my thumbs by now, how to work them out.
Yep. And what about when you had to go to work? How were you treated at work? What work did you do?
I did outfit.
Did you get paid a lot of money for that?
No, I paid £10 a week. That's $20 a week.
What about when you wanted to go to the movies? Were you allowed to go?
No, we weren't allowed to go to the movies.
Why?
Because Aboriginal people weren't allowed into the theatres.
What about when it got hot and you want to go for a swim?
Weren't allowed into the pools. Allowed to go down the river. Had to swim in the river.
Was it just you or all the other kids?
No, all Aboriginal kids.
What about when you needed to go to shops?
Weren't allowed to go in the shops.
So how would you get your food?
Dad had to buy our food. He wasn't allowed to. Don't get the shopping.
So why was grandfather allowed in the shops and not the kids?
Because they didn't trust us. Thought those little black kids would steal something off the shelves.
That's not nice, is it?
No.
What about when you want to have somewhere to live?
We had to live on the B model.
And what's the B model?
It's the mission.
So you weren't allowed in town either?
No, not past Tiger Bay.
Which is on the outskirts of Warren, isn't it?
Yeah, outskirts of Warren.
And what about if you're out after dark?
If we're out after dark, the coppers pick us up and take us to jail and lock us up for the night.
And because you did something wrong or just because you were out late at night?
We're out late at night.
Can you tell us about the time that Annie Norma was taken by the welfare?
I was about 5, I think, when Norma was taken. Norma was a toddler. And Mum come screaming out the dad saying the welfare grabbed Norma and put Norma in the car. And Dad took off on the horse to trying to get Norma back, and Norma was in the back of this bloke's truck. Dad went to his boss and told him that they had grabbed Norma, and so the boss took after the welfare bloke and said, "Why are you taking my kids off my property?" He said, "They're my kids, they belong to me. The whole family belongs to me." And I think that's how Dad got Norma back.
What did you have to do when someone knocked on your door?
We all run and hid. Mum knew the welfare was around, and she told us to run down the scrub and hide in the bushes. So we used to run to the scrub and hide in the bush until the welfare bloke wouldn't come home till about 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. And when the welfare bloke took off. And
Why did you have to run and hide?
eh?
Why did you have to hide?
Because the welfare couldn't get us,
Was he going to take you?
yeah. They were driving around in their big black Fords looking for Aboriginal kids off stations and
What would they do if they took you? Where would they put you?
in homes
To do what?
become teacher to become housemates and take it to the homes and use it as slaves, and they taught us to do the housework and washing sheets and stuff. Washing sheets and cleaning the houses out.
And what about the boys? What would they do with the boys?
The boys, they'd be taught to do stockhand, become stockhands with the overseas and that.
So why did we move from here with Mum? Why did we move away?
Mum told me that we moved because we were almost taken, being as fair-skinned as we were. That the welfare come out looking for fair-skinned kids because they heard that there was a couple out there. So Auntie Kate and Uncle Bill were living on the mission out at Beemuddle, and all the other kids had scattered and run out in the bush. We were too little to run, so Auntie Kate hid us under the bed. And we had to lay under the bed and pull the suitcases up to our face, not make a noise, not cough, not sneeze, not do anything until she pulled us out from underneath the bed.
The story's right, the story's true. I would not tell lies to you, like the promises they did not keep, and how they fenced us in like sheep. Said to us, come take care of him. Set us up on mission lane. Told us to read, to write and pray. Then they took the children away, took the children away. The children away. Snatched from their mother's breast, kept us for the best, took them away.
After spending a couple of days in Dubbo, it was time for us to say goodbye. Now we're going to check out a NAIDOC march that's happening in Redfern. It's bright and early here at Redfern Park and everything is getting set up. Meanwhile, just a few blocks around the corner, people are getting their banners ready before they start their march. The march took about 10 minutes and the roads were blocked off by police. I was feeling a bit nervous at first, but that feeling was replaced by a great sense of pride as we marched towards Redfern Park. Not long after arriving back at Redfern Park, there was a fire and smoke ceremony, which was followed by some Aboriginal dances. There was some country music.
It might sound crazy, but if you've seen me, 'cause who I am ain't who I used to be. And if you don't mind, I sure could use your help. So I just came in here to find myself.
And there was even a stall where you could learn how to make Johnny cakes.
Anyone knows what this bread is called?
Yeah, so what we do is the nardoo seeds off the tree. We get those and we ground them down through grinding stones. The other one is the water lilies, the bulb of the water lily down in the mud. What we do is we get that and we dry it out under the sun, and we grind that one down too as well, and we just mix it with a bit of water and shove him straight on the coals of the fire. So just push it.
Just push him down, put those knuckles into it. Turn him over. Make sure you get plenty of flour on him. Yeah, he's a natural, this guy. Take him on.
Another one. Oh, geez, I thought you was back for 6.
And of course I put Vegemite on mine.
So if you want to learn about how we got to this point as First Peoples, what I want you to do, that big white tent at the back there, that's a tent celebrating the Aboriginal Civil Rights Movement. Talking about everything from the 1965 freedom rides to a whole bunch of other deadly things in there. So I want you to take some time to go over there and look at that exhibition.
I just came in here to find myself.
While we're at it, I thought maybe I should check out the place where the Aboriginal invasion, or European settlement, first took place. Captain Cook's landing place is in New South Wales at a place called Kurnell in Botany Bay.
Mr. Lowe.
There was a special monument which was a gift to commemorate a man named Joseph Banks. Joseph Banks was a botanist, which means he studied plants. This is why you might notice that some Australian plants are called Banksias, because they're named after Joseph Banks. And because he studied so many plants in this place, they decided to call it Botany Bay. There were a few plaques to give an insight as to how the Aboriginal people would have lived in this place, and also to show what it may have looked like when Captain Cook first arrived. I wondered what the Aboriginal people must have thought when they first saw those white sails in the sun heading towards them. They had never seen anything like this before. It must have been like seeing aliens. What would you do if you saw these strange things coming towards you? Would you quickly run to tell your family? How would you feel? Would you be scared and cautious? Would you watch from behind the bushes? I decided to check out the visitor centre and see what they have in there. Inside the visitor centre, there was a replica of Captain Cook's ship, the Endeavour. This was the ship that Captain Cook sailed to Australia in. There was also a canoe that the Aboriginal people would make from bark. There were some other interesting things to look at as well. Along the walls, there was lots of information about Captain Cook's landing to read about. When Captain Cook first landed, the Aboriginal people went down to meet him, but then they got scared and ran away. Except for 2 Aboriginal men, who Captain Cook then shot in the leg. Then they ran away as well.
Wasn't long before they felt the sting. White man, white law, white gun.
There was some more information about Joseph Banks and how he named a lot of plants and animals. There was also some diary entries that Captain Cook wrote during his 8 days in Australia. Captain Cook's instructions were that if he found the land uninhabited, he should take possession, And what did Captain Cook say? He said the land was uninhabited. On the wall there was a photo of the rocks where Captain Cook and his party first landed, so I thought I'd go and check it out. Back at the visitor centre, there were some Aboriginal artworks, including some emu eggs with decorations, which I thought was pretty cool because my mum enjoys doing that as well. Here's an emu egg that my mum's been working on. She's still in the process of carving. I can't wait to see how it looks when it's finished. And that spear I was using, well, it's not actually a spear. It's a digging stick that my nan made. I hope you learnt something from this video, and I hope you learn even more things this NAIDOC week. See you next time.